Morning, it's Wednesday.
Morning.
And as you've seen from the start of this video already on our little status, I've tried to describe today in emojis.
Okay.
There's a couple of snowflakes, there's a couple of umbrellas with rain, there's the wind. Yeah. Oh, it's awful out there this morning. So just take it handy on the roads. And if on the very outset, if you spot something that we need to know about today, give us a shout because it's very wet and wild out there. It was very cold overnight and there was a lot of hailstone and even some snow in parts. It's going to be like that again for the morning, a little bit wild again. It's a storm Fionn, is that what we're on?
Fionn we're on to.
Fionn, yeah. So Fionn gave a bit of a battering last night and it's going to be some more heavy showers across most parts of the county today again. So just take care on the roads in particular this morning, all right?
I love when you say wet and wild.
Wet and wild. I know, it's a bit of a thing. And you know what? People have said it to me. You always say wet and wild in your videos. Yeah.
You know, is the theme park, water park in Orlando. It's closed now. It actually closed a couple of years ago, but I was there a few years ago. And it was a massive water park. So every time you say wet and wild, I think of being a wet and wild.
You know the way you say it to me sometimes, oh, I'm having a bad hair day, which you're not today, by the way.
Oh, really?
I am. Look.
What's going on?
I don't know, it's a bit of an old. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going sideways?
I don't
know. Anyway, I've got a weird quiff thing going on.
Hang on. You're grand. I'm a mammy.
Anyway, sorry.
So some of the papers today, starting with the Irish Sun, more on Dolores O'Riordan on the front page of the Sun. Dolores found in bathroom by maid. I was flicking around different radio stations yesterday just to see tributes to Dolores, and at one stage, like 2-3 radio stations at a time would be playing Cranberries songs, including Radio Kerry, obviously. And we had an hour of the Cranberries last night on the definitive, so lots of tributes being paid. And do you know what I found as well? Lots of people are from Limerick who were teenagers or people in their 20s, maybe in the early 90s, in the mid 90s, and just talking about how much the Cranberries meant to them and giving them a voice, because Ireland was pretty miserable at times in the early 90s. It was even more miserable in a decade before, however, and that's what's on the front pages of all the papers this morning, and it's something you heard about a lot in Radio Kerry yesterday and will continue to hear about, and that is this apology which has finally been issued to Kerry woman Joanne Hayes. 34 years on, an apology for Joanne, and that is the headline in the Irish Examiner today. I was a little child in 1984. I can tell you I'm glad I wasn't a grown woman in Ireland in 1984, where women were treated like crap, basically, appallingly. But Gardaí yesterday issuing that apology to the woman at the centre of the Kerry baby scandal. And I know there was a lot in Kerry today about that yesterday. Government are planning local property tax overhaul is another story in the Examiner today. And Martin O Neill, despite everything we've said about him leaving and now it's untenable that he would continue as Ireland manager, he says his contract issue with the FAI is now resolved and he will stay on as manager of Ireland. That's another story in the Irish Examiner.
Can I be honest? I'm glad. I like Martin O'Neill as a manager. I said to you last week that if he's in the departure lounge and he's ready to leave, fair enough, let him go for it and let us move on. But now that he's actually just he's ready to rock with signing on for his contract, I saw some very harsh comments online last night. Stuff that I thought, lads. I mean, in fairness, we still finished second in our World Cup qualifying group. Okay, we got hammered by Denmark, but we went to the Euros and so on. Just some of the stuff last night, it was vicious. And I thought that's a bit much.
I think you're right, and I think people have this completely unrealistic idea or expectation of the Irish team. And like somebody texted us the other day and said they should just get rid of all the players. Well, I mean, who would you propose we have playing instead? Because the players are on the squad are generally the best players Ireland has produced. It's not like there's some amazing players that. You can argue maybe that Wes Hoolahan should have been in the Irish setup earlier than he has been, whatever. But it's not that there's these brilliant players who just aren't being picked for the Ireland squad. We are picking the best players we have. And in fairness to Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane, I think they're probably doing the best they can.
Yeah, and he said it. He did the FAI Facebook page did a very quick minute-and-a-half interview with him just to say now that the contract is resolved. And one of the first things he said in the interview is that in the upcoming friendlies, he is going to give young lads a chance, young lads who haven't had a chance yet. So we'll see what happens there. The top trends in Ireland this morning: the Kerry babies is the number one trend for obvious reasons. And as Elaine says, we'll hear more about this on Kerry today later on. First Dates Ireland is trending again. I still haven't watched the new series.
I keep forgetting it's on, and I love it. And I was actually watching absolute rubbish last night, and I totally forgot that was on last night.
Forgot that was on. Doireann Garrahy, who I know you follow her on Snapchat.
Oh, I love Doireann. She's gas.
Doireann is gas. She's kind of mad at the social media, and she does a radio show in Dublin. But the Doireann Project, it's this RTE player only show that she has. I don't know what it's about, but that's trending, and I'd say for all the right reasons.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I saw just a trailer for it. I'm presuming it's just the trailer anyway. It was just Doireann doing her impressions,
and they're good impressions, to be fair.
She's brilliant, and she's somebody to follow on Snapchat. Actually, if you are looking for someone to follow on Snap.
That's a good idea.
Very good.
And Ronaldinho is also trending this morning because he's officially, at the age of 38, announced his retirement, the Barcelona and Brazilian legend. I honestly thought he had retired, by the way. I thought he did a long time ago, but apparently he officially did it last night. So, Saudi Arabia is in the news this morning. They've had a 35-year ban on cinemas and movies, and they've decided to lift that ban. And the first movie that will be shown is the Emoji Movie.
Oh God, could they not have gone for something? Actually, the Emoji Movie's quite good as kids' movies go. They couldn't have gone for a classic, no?
I'd imagine it's to do with the culture, though, isn't it? I mean, a lot of movies anyway will probably end up being censored. So maybe that's probably the very first one they could think of that wouldn't need to be censored. I know. I haven't seen it, by the way. I know you. Did you see it with your daughter, or did you go on your own?
No.
Yeah, you went on your own,
No, I went to Twilight on my own, though. Like a creep.
Did you really?
Well, no, I went with a fella, like adults.
Okay.
We were adults. No, we were like creeps. It was all 14-year-old girls and us.
I went to the cinema in Killarney one night. It was on the night that the newest or the very last Twilight was released, whatever that was called, right? Or Breaking Dawn Part 2. So when that was released, I went to the cinema. Then I can't remember what we went to see, but the cinema was packed. Like I've never seen. It was like queuing for a concert.
Yeah.
Watching people going in there, and I'd say the average age was 15.
Yeah.
Would that be about right?
Less maybe. Yeah.
Less maybe. Yeah. I just remember being in Killarney thinking, "Whoa, this is."
I just remember feeling like a total creep. What am I doing here? I'll just pretend I'm one of their moms. No, I wasn't old enough to be one of their moms either. I was probably only late 20s.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Really?
Do you really think they were sitting across kind of going, "Ooh, look at the creepy old woman"? And you were probably in your 20s, like, "Look at the creepy old woman."
Yeah. They're ancient.
Listen.
And holding hands. Oh my God! I saw one of my teachers shifting someone once.
What?
I saw one of my teachers shifting someone once. She was a sub. She was from up the country, so I'm not. It's grand. I don't know who she was.
She's not watching.
And we were in first year in college, and we had her in sixth year teaching us. And you know the way you think your teachers are ancient? Like she could have been 23. Like you know, she's a young one.
2 or 3 years older than you.
Yeah, we were going to Dublin, and the bus stopped in Nina or Roscrea or something. Nina, I think it was, to pick people up, and we were all just in the bus chatting away. And the next minute goes, "Oh my God, look what!" I won't say her name, and she was there. Oh, shifting the face off this lad.
Class.
It was brilliant. We were all like, "Oh, what?" And then we were kind of realising, oh my God, she's like not that much older than us.
I remember DJing in a nightclub in Cork a few years ago. And maybe about 6-7 years ago, and I met this girl. She come up and she asked for a song, right? Nothing unusual about that.
Yeah.
And the next thing, the same girl came up about 10 minutes later. She said, "Listen, would you mind minding my handbag and my jacket?" Which I hate, but I said, "Look, I'll do it. Anyway, she came back. No, not 5 minutes later to collect her bag and jacket. She was leaving. She was. I have to go because she was also a teacher, and some of her actual 6th class students were in the nightclub. So,
6th year, I hope.
6th year. Sorry. Whoops. Yeah, 6th year students were in the nightclub,
she
so
wanted
she had
to
to
be
leave.
getting her
groove on.
And she couldn't.
Her groove.
Because their students were there watching her. Yeah, I hear you, teacher. I hear you, this.
Listen, before we finish up the video, quick one for you, because we'll talk about this in the show. A cup of tea is very good for creative thinkers.
Oh.
I'll explain that.
We drink coffee all the time.
Yeah, so clearly I'm not creative enough.
Also, 2 big things happening today, right? 1, today is the day that you are most likely to break your New Year's resolution.
Yeah, big time.
Takeaway, drink,
Sweets.
Smokes, whatever it is. And number 2 is that today is the day women are most likely to find out they're pregnant.
What?
So if you are someone who really wants to be pregnant, that's great news for you. If, like a lot of women, you would dread that happening, it's kind of a weird day. Yeah, the day it comes. Today comes 2 weeks exactly to the day after the biggest baby making day of the year. So today's the day women will find out.
January 17th. Well, we've got loads coming up in the show between now and 9 o'clock. So text us 083 300 3300 or leave a comment here. We're going to drink some coffee and get ready to rock for the show this morning. So anyway,
music wise today we've got good oldies today actually. We've got Oasis coming up.
June.
We've got Rhythm is gonna get you. Rhythm is gonna get you. Gloria Estefan
keep singing.
Is on the show. Clean. I could get some kind of recording contract out of this. Clean Bandit, Hudson Taylor. Picture This all coming up as well.
Have a good day. Morning.
Morning.